What is a secular Muslim? I tweeted about this yesterday and I posted the following. A secular Muslim is someone who believes that the Creator was sufficient enough to set highly calculated mathematical and physical laws that organize planets in orbit, but wasn't sufficient enough to create laws that organize human society. Now, I didn't actually write this quote. I came across it years ago, and I can't find who the author of it was, but it's a fantastic quote, very thought-provoking, very concise. Now, someone responded to this. A lot of people responded to it, but a Muslim from, I think from Bangladesh, responded like this, and you can see the tweet. "Let's try this," he said. "A secular Muslim is one who believes that God is wise enough to know that laws that worked in 570 won't necessarily work in 2023. God is not dumb as some mortals who think that there is something primordial about laws that govern human society." End quote. Now, I'm not entirely sure what he's getting at. I mean, which laws is he talking about? But I think we can assume rightly that he's talking about the Sharia, the divine laws we see in the Qur'an and the Sunnah. And I thought this is a curious thing to say. And I was reminded of some words by the English Muslim writer, diplomat, and consultant at Regent's Park Mosque, actually, who wrote in his last published work, this work, Reflections by Guy Eaton. He wrote the following about this, precisely this kind of statement that one comes across from time to time. And he says on page 56, "We are sometimes asked why we hesitate to adapt the Quran to the needs of the modern age," just like this guy does on the tweet. "The book itself answers this question. Quote, there is no changing the words of God. The fact that it was sent down in the 7th century of the Christian era, not the 21st, is irrelevant. You do not wear down a diamond by constant handling, and the passage of the centuries cannot erode the words of God. That, after all, is the whole point of a divine intervention in the affairs of this world. The act, the revelation, is located in time, but it is itself timeless. And Islamic theology always defines the essence of the Quran as uncreated, therefore eternal. As Muslims, we ask not how the book can be adapted to our lives in the world of today, in 2023, but how our daily lives can be adapted to the Quran. That, says Guy Eaton, is the real problem. End quote. Now, I think it's a fantastic response, very beautifully written by Guy Eaton. If the Quran obviously is the speech of God himself, who is eternal and outside of time, and if he has sent this revelation to us as the final installment, the final revelation to mankind, then of course it is eternally relevant. It's not going to be outdated like some political manifesto that is outdated a few years later. Human laws in many secular societies, yes, they constantly evolve and change. All sorts of laws have changed in the last few years concerning gay marriage and so on that were unthinkable 50 years ago. But God is not like that. He is outside of time and he knows it's perfectly created the universe. And so it's a very, very different state of affairs. So a secular Muslim, many would think, I think quite rightly, is a contradiction in terms. If God is not someone who is sufficient enough to create laws that organize human society. And about this point that this gentleman makes, God is not dumb as some mortals who think that there is something primordial about laws that govern society. Guy Eaton says this also in his book. He says, Islam has never claimed to be a new religion, he says, in the sense in which most of us would understand the term. On the contrary, it presents itself as a restoration and restatement of the Deen al-Fitra, the primordial religion of mankind, the eternal truth of which our ancestors had to be reminded again and again. And that is a function of revelation, partly is to remind us of these eternal facts. And revelation, of course, Islamically understood, accords perfectly with our fitra, our natural disposition created by God, such that we should worship him and understand to live righteous lives before him. So just wanted to share those words with you. A secular Muslim is someone who believes that the Creator was sufficient enough to set highly calculated mathematical and physical laws that organize the planets in motion. So to allow God that role, this incredible role as creator and designer of the universe, but for some reason, he wasn't sufficient enough to create those laws that we need in our societies that organize us to live successful, fulfilled, and orderly lives in this world. And this is the contradiction, it is claimed, at the heart of the secular Muslim mindset. The argument is that a secular Muslim is a contradiction in terms. That's my view. Until next time.